Hey everybody. Today I would like to start a mini-series. I think in YouTube speak it might be called a playlist. Eventually I'll group these videos together. And these will be about what's called attitudes of mindfulness. So, of course, what we practice together here in these videos are a formal practice of mindfulness meditation. However, there's also what people refer to as an everyday mindfulness or informal practice of mindfulness. How do we take what we practice on the cushion or in our formal practice out into the world in our everyday life? And so these attitudes of mindfulness are not only helpful in developing a personal formal practice, but also really helpful when we go back out into the world and are interacting with real people in real time and real situations and real struggles and sometimes. So today I'd like to start with one of the attitudes, which is called patience. And because this is the first of a series that I will put together, I want to share with you a little mnemonic device that I use to remember all 7 of the attitudes of mindfulness. I use the word plant with 2 N's and then the letter B afterwards. So all of those letters add up to all of the attitudes. The P stands for patience, L stands for letting go, A, acceptance, N, non-striving, the other N, non-judging, T, trust, and B, beginner's mind. So I came up with this mnemonic device because one of the first places that I taught the attitudes of mindfulness to people was on a farm. It's a really phenomenal program it's like a work program that brings people who are currently experiencing homelessness onto the farm and teaches them skills of organic farming as an apprenticeship. And then there's also this personal development aspect to the program. So anyway, Plant B made me think of certainly the farm, but it made me also think about how in any practice that we're beginning, we're planting a seed. And in mindfulness in particular, we're planting this seed of just being. So I came up with Plant B. Anyway, that's the full introduction. You won't get that each time I introduce a new attitude, but for today, that's where it's all come from. So patience. Let's talk about patience. But actually, let's do that just slowly, unpack it a little bit in the meditation. So just inviting you to settle into the seat that you're in. Close your eyes if that's comfortable for you, or a soft gaze looking down. Beginning to bring the breath into the body. Allowing the breath to fill the body with space, sense of time, sense of presence. Really landing right here, right now. I'm just opening up to this attitude of patience. This is not anything new. I imagine patience is something that each of us has entertained at different times in our lives. But But in mindfulness, patience is, it sort of takes on a form of wisdom. It demonstrates that we understand and accept. Sometimes we must let go and let things unfold in their own time and in their own way. Paying attention to the breath and allowing the breath to just breathe the body. No effort. So whether we're on the cushion and experiencing agitation, distraction, monkey mind, or whether we're out in the world and experiencing overwhelm, agitation, judgment, you just fill in the blank. We give ourselves room to have these experiences. Why? Because we're having them already. We're having them anyway. As soon as they come up, they are our reality. They're part of our life unfolding in this moment. And of course, our lives are just made up of a whole bunch of moments strung together. So one thing that we can do to bring a little more sense of peace to these moments is a practice of patience. And so even in this practice right here, right now, if the mind is wandering, have patience. Just see that thought, honor that thought, and come right back to the breath. A practice of mindfulness meditation is a practice in patience, because the mind does its job. It does what it wants to do, think. And so coming back to the breath. And just breathing. Patience requires kindness. How kindly can we bring ourselves back to the breath when the mind has wandered? Patience can also be particularly helpful when the mind is agitated. It can help us to accept the thinking mind and still not get caught up in it. Just remembering that all things are impermanent and changing all the time. How can we not rely on a practice of patience in a world so transitory, in an existence so transitory? Where can patience live in the body for you? Where can it have a home base, a place that you can come back to when you're feeling a need for it? And so sealing this practice with a couple deep inhales and long extended exhales. And coming back when you're ready. I wish you patience in your practice of patience.